Hello and welcome to today's episode of Dr. Simone's Mindspace. Today is live from Shanghai, bright and early in the morning. And the topic is lost in translation despite language mastering. Spending another research trip in beloved Shanghai, yet feeling as lonely as one can feel, arriving in the city at the central business airport, and I'm the only Western person passing migration. That's quite an experience, considering the fact that I've been to Hong Kong just a week ago and on arrival here in Asia and had been waiting for over an hour at the border control. Such an experience is very interesting. Yet I certainly can tell you challenging, lonely and lost in translation despite the fact that I speak fluent Mandarin by now and can communicate in the language that people speak here in Shanghai. There is something difficult and it's hard to put the finger on, but it's small mutual nominators that make each other to be just understanding each other, and they just seem not present. Therefore, it's very challenging to make oneself understood, even if one speaks the same language as the other people. Especially, this doesn't only apply to China, but places and countries where the optical look of the person speaking the language doesn't overlap with the expectation. And that is actually something very interesting, a little further to be explored. So what people per default assume doesn't apply, and when things such as a white woman speaking Mandarin doesn't really come with the default that this person might actually speak the language of the host country because she looks so different to everyone else. And that's what we call our inner stereotypes that have messed up with us. And these stereotypes is not something considered negative. It's just a bias that our brain has made over the years of experiencing something every day, most likely, and then recognizing this as a pattern. It's a fast track because we are otherwise overstimulated by all the information we collect every day. And so nothing a child learns earlier than recognizing the parents' faces. Even the slightest changes in the face have profound effect on the facial recognition. It is potentially therefore, I wonder that people have harder times placing language and look when it's not matching their inner mental map. Like with me, they don't expect me to speak Mandarin. They expect me to speak English, and then if I speak Mandarin, it takes quite a long time for the mind to understand, oh, this person is actually speaking the same language as me, and therefore being sort of not ready to understand, even if the language, as it were, would be understood if I didn't look white or didn't look any other look if the host country has a different appearance. And that is something that, in addition to the fact that maybe we don't look alike and you don't assume the person speaking the same language, many small interaction components are quite different depending on the culture, such as minimal responses or the amount of time one waits between asking a question and answering, or the sort of interaction within two people who replies when and how do you encourage or not encourage the other person to talk, and how you take turns. These include the pitch, the gestures, and the gazes. And these components can all contribute to misunderstanding and misinterpretation. And so therefore, there's a lot of components that actually play into why people at times don't understand each other. And in addition, there is also the component of face value and how important it is to say face as a culture. And that is quite different among East and West. It refers to an ease of whether to dare to try and communicate even if you make mistakes and therefore lose your face. And the more you don't dare to lose face in public, the less you may tend to try and communicate. And that obviously adds on to the complexity of not understanding each other, despite the fact that there is maybe some way of communicating even if you can't speak the same language. Yeah, that are some reflections from a mental health professional and also a linguist, and have been studying intercultural communication as well as communication in general and language acquisition, as well as how people take turns and do use the gestures and gazes and minimal responses in interactions, and who and how people take turns in conversations. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a wonderful day. Take care and talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.